I was shocked to learn about all this as it is, and it just got worse when she told me that the reason they'd broken up was because she wanted a family and they'd even been trying for a baby. They weren't married yet because her parents weren't ready for her to get married yet, but she felt ready to build a life and family with him, so they didn't mind not being married. But naturally, she couldn't get pregnant and they had to get tested as well, and obviously, she found out that he was infertile. She tried to come to terms with it and be okay with it, but he lashed out at her, and after a lot of fighting and toxicity, they finally broke up. Then he met me and she wanted to warn me but stayed out of it because she thought it was none of her business. She did find out about my mother-in-law's post from another college friend of hers, and that's when she felt like she should let me know about his history. I had no idea what to do when I was numb when I found out, and I remember sobbing like a baby because everything that I'd ever known about my husband had turned out to be a big fat lie. I remained upset for one whole day, even though I knew that this would help me in the divorce. I just didn't have the heart to do anything at all, much less talk to a lawyer. I was upset for one whole day and just kept replaying all my conversations with my husband while we were trying, and he could have come clean to me about all of this, but he chose not to. I just kept feeling worse about it, and finally, last evening, I decided to post the results of my husband's fertility test on Facebook and tag him and his mother just like my mother-in-law had done when she was angry. Both the results had been mailed to both of us since that's what we had wanted, but it sure backfired in his case because he had nothing on me. It was a petty and spiteful move just to humiliate him, I'll admit that. I posted that and turned my phone off so that nobody could get to me. My husband hadn't even tried to talk to me after I'd left, but I knew that this post would get him riled up and he'd be forced to contact me. He did call me this morning and yelled at me for about half an hour while I patiently heard him out and then disconnected the call without a response. He then texted me saying that what I'd done had ruined his life and was totally unnecessary because his mother had just let the stay up for a couple of hours, whereas I let that post stay up for the entire night and this morning, and it just wasn't fair to him because he'd convinced his mother to take her post down. He didn't know that I'd found out about his ex and the fact that he'd always known about his infertility, and so I texted him saying that he'd let his mother's post stay up long enough for his ex to find it and reach out to me to tell me the truth about him. I didn't think he would have an answer for that, but he did. He replied saying that regardless of everything, it was still very messed up for me to post something that was so personal. And I mean, he's not entirely wrong, and I knew that what I did was petty and messed up. That was the intention, so I don't know why I feel so guilty about posting his report online. Maybe I acted out of emotions, or maybe he deserved it. I don't really know, which is why I'm here, because I can't trust my own judgment right now while I'm grappling with so many personal troubles. So Ida, for posting my husband's fertility report online after my mother-in-law falsely accused me of being infertile in a Facebook post and also said that my husband had made the wrong decision by marrying me. Update 1. Hi, so I finally filed for divorce today. About time I did as well, since it's been 2 weeks since I left home. I took the post down after reading all the comments here. He did deserve every bit of it, but I don't want to stoop down to their level just to get a reaction out of them. I'm not my mother-in-law and I don't want to do what they do just for petty revenge. I spoke to a lawyer that one of my friends put me in touch with a couple of days back, and with all that my husband has done, settlement should be easy for us. We haven't spoken since that last text that he sent after I posted his results online, and I'm okay with that. I finally got around to thanking his ex for telling me the truth as well, because I'd pretty much been ignoring anyone who was not from my workplace because I was emotionally just so drained. But I'm getting better and I'm trying to make things work for myself now. I guess this marriage wasn't meant to be, and that's why it's unraveling now. It kind of worked out well that we weren't able to have a kid, because boy, I'd hate to think of the mess that I'd be in if I was getting divorced while pregnant with his child. Because I still would be leaving him for lying to me about never having had a proper girlfriend. I think 5 years with someone qualifies as serious, especially if you're thinking of having a kid with that person, but it's fine now. I'm just over it. Update 2. So, super quick update. I moved out of the hotel and in with a friend of mine, and we'll be splitting the rent. It's a nice spacious house and I'm pleased with this arrangement since it's in a better neighborhood than I used to live in. He gets to keep the house because he paid more for it than I did, and I guess eventually, I'll get the money back. Now the bad news is that I obviously have to go back home to get some of my stuff because I can't keep repeating the same 5 outfits I packed while I was leaving. And besides, there are several things that I didn't bring with me, so I'll have to go back to collect my things either way, and I'll have to see him. I've spoken to him already and it was very short and curt. I wanted to rip the band-aid off as quickly as possible, so I texted him the time I'd be coming over and he told me that he was cool with it. So I'm going over tomorrow after work to pack my things and properly move in with my friend. It's going to be weird seeing him after so long given the circumstances, but at least I'll get some sense of closure, I think. I feel so weird thinking about the divorce proceedings because it's just crazy that I spent the last 4 years of my life with this man only to find out that everything I believed about him was a lie. Ugh, I just hope everything goes well tomorrow and it's not painfully awkward or whatever. Update 3. Hey, everyone. So I'm in my new home right now and it's pretty late here, so please excuse any mistakes that I make while sharing what happened today. So, like I said, I finally met him in person today and it was really weird and tense. He and I didn't speak much because we didn't want to make my friend uncomfortable by bringing up whatever had happened, so we just packed quietly while he watched the game that was on in the living room. My friend and I didn't talk either because we just wanted to get things done and leave. Right before I was about to leave though, my husband stopped me and told me that he wanted to talk to me in person. So my friend left and waited in the car while my husband sat me down and apologized for everything. He sounded upset, but there was no going back from this. I didn't say that I forgave him, because I really couldn't. Not right now, at least. Maybe sometime in the future when I'm a lot older and have lived enough to let go of the past, but right now, it's too fresh and too recent for me to just forgive. So I didn't say something that I didn't mean, but I did ask him why exactly he'd been lying to me. Because one way or another, he knew I'd find out. It wasn't like I wouldn't have married him if I knew that he was infertile, and even if I didn't, he still should have been honest and upfront with me. It was all the lies and the false hopes that just made me feel like he'd been screwing with me all along, and I finally had the opportunity to get an answer for why he'd done what he did. And you know what he said? He told me that he thought that the results might have been different this time. I wish I was joking, but that was his reason, and he looked totally serious while saying it to me. I thought I'd crack up at that because it was just incredulous, but I held back. It was denial on a whole different level, and I actually felt bad for him because he clearly wanted a kid just as much as I did, and that was the reason he was still in denial over the fact that he just wouldn't be able to have them. I was honest with him and told him that the divorce wouldn't be pretty and that we definitely wouldn't be in touch after this, but I also advised him to get help because what he did to me was seriously messed up. He didn't say anything to that, and so I left without another word. So that was what happened, and I kind of feel relieved, in a really strange way. I'm happy that I got to meet him one last time and give him an earful. That felt really satisfying, and I hope I can move on now.